What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video on my channel. This is F.O.P with Matt. Today's lesson will cover second and third intervals as well as dynamics. So let's begin. There are two types of intervals. The first one is a melodic interval, and that is the measurement of distance of one white key to the next, and the notes are played separately. For the purpose of this lesson, we're only going to measure intervals of seconds and thirds. A second is when you play one white key and the distance to the next white key is right next to each other, going up or down. So take a look at my piano demonstration here. Let's begin on the C. A second is the next white key that's next to this C, either up or down. So the distance between C to the D, that's a second, or the distance between the C to this B is also a second. Now a melodic third is the distance between one white key, you skip the next white key, and then the next white key after that is a third. To break it all down for you, take a look at this demonstration. So again, let's begin on the C. I'm going to skip the next white key, and then the next white key after that, that's a third. So in this demonstration, the C and the E is a third because I'm skipping the white key D. Here's another example. The key of D and the key of F, that's also a third because I'm skipping the white key E. So overall, I'm skipping the key in between when I'm playing a melodic third. Harmonic intervals are a little bit different. It comes from the word harmony, which means two notes played together. And that's essentially what a harmonic interval is. The distance between one note to another, but played simultaneously. So let's take a harmonic second, for example, and take a look at this demonstration. So again, we're going to start from the key of C, and the second, which is the next key over, is D. So this time, we're going to play those two notes together, and that creates a harmonic second. Now, let's take a look at harmonic thirds. So again, we talked about a third is when you play one white key, the distance to the next white key is when we skip the key in between. So, again, let's take a look at this demonstration. Again, we're going to begin on the key of C. We're going to skip one white key, and then the next white key after that, that's the third. So C and E. But since it's a harmonic third, we're going to play those two notes simultaneously. Again, going back to our other example, when you play the key of D and the key of F, we skip the one white key. So the key next to it is E, we skip it, and we play the key next to it, which is the F. Play it simultaneously, that's a harmonic third. Now let's talk about dynamics. Different songs have different volumes. It can either be soft, it can either be medium, or it can either be loud. But there's technical terms that we use when we're playing the piano. So let's take a look at those now. Take a look at this symbol. This symbol P indicates that the piece or that part of the song is going to be played softly. So when you're playing softly, what you do is you touch the key, but try not to apply too much pressure so that it doesn't come out as a loud sound. So you want to try to press gently, and that will create that soft sound. Now this symbol indicated right here with the F, that is called forte. That means we play the piece loud, or that part of the song loud. So when you're playing the key, apply a lot more pressure than when you play softly. So when you apply more pressure, it comes out as a loud sound. And finally, this symbol is MF. This means mezzo forte. And that means you play it moderately loud or medium loud. How I like to remember this is mezzo begins with M, so does the word medium. So medium loud, mezzo forte. And forte, we already discussed, means loud. So when you combine it, it means medium loud. Now let's take a look at this practice exercise, which combines melodic and harmonic seconds and thirds, as well as the different dynamics that we just learned. Before we begin playing this practice exercise, I do want to point out a few things. First, notice the time signature. So let's review a little bit. As we learned in our previous lesson, the 4/4 time signature indicates that there are 4 beats in each measure and that the quarter note gets 1 beat. Now let's take a look at the first measure in this piece. The first 2 notes indicate a melodic second, and the second 2 notes in this measure indicate a melodic third. Now remember what we said about intervals. An interval is the distance between one white key to another. A second are 2 notes played next to each other, or 2 white keys played next to each other. A third is when you start from one white key, skip the next white key, and play the next white key after that. For example, those 2 notes are C and E. So you skip that white key of D. Now let me point out the last measure of the first line. This right here is a harmonic second. And remember what we said about harmonic intervals. They are 2 notes played together. It comes from the word harmony, when 2 voices sing at the same time. Again, this is a harmonic second. Now if you take a look at the second line of this piece, the last measure, this is a harmonic third. Also, notice the dynamics in this piece. That whole first line is indicated with a P marked right here on the first measure. P stands for piano, and so therefore it means that the whole first line is played soft. The second line is marked with an F, seen right here in this measure. It stands for forte, and that means that whole second line is played loud. Some additional information to help you distinguish the difference between second and third intervals. So each note is either a line note or a space note. A line note are notes that sit on the line, and space notes are ones that sit in between the lines. So seconds go from a line note to a space note, or a space note to a line note. A third goes from a line note to a line note, or a space note to a space note. Let me give you an example. Take the first measure. Those 2 notes, it goes from a line note to a space note. So that tells me that it's a second. Now take a look at the next 2 notes. It's from a C to an E, but notice it goes from a line note to a line note. So that tells me that's a third. So again, a second goes from a line note to a space note, or a space note to a line note. And a third goes from a line note to a line note, or a space note to a space note. Now we're ready to play this piece. I'm going to play it 2 times. The first time I'm going to be counting while playing. The second time I'm just going to play it plainly without counting. Please play along if you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this time I'm going to play it without counting. Again, please play along if you can. Well, folks, that wraps up this lesson on dynamics and melodic and harmonic seconds and thirds. Please like this video, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel, and please feel free to leave a comment below. But until then, I'll see you all on our next lesson.